My name is Ed Bice. I work at Medan. I'm going to talk to you about human attention in the era of an enormous challenge. First, to assess where we are. I think that it's fair to think about the trajectory as going from a single individual who held up a pizza parlor and sought to liberate child slaves to 10,000 individuals who stormed the U.S. Capitol. During the same time, we've had a dramatic and deepening impact of misinformation playing out during the global pandemic, deepening and worsening the human cost of the pandemic. Now, if we're going to seriously address the issue of misinformation online, we're going to have to think about a few critical and wicked problems. 2020 has certainly been the closing argument for needing to address this challenge. And so I'm going to share with you today a plan for doing so. First, though, the first challenge is end-to-end encrypted messaging platforms. No question, there is migration from the open web to closed messaging spaces. These present a critical challenge. Also, the sheer scale of the amount of content that needs to be assessed. 100 billion messages flowing through WhatsApp alone every day. And as the web scales, it becomes more complex. Lastly, humans. Human beings are wired to give more attention to what's unusual. Sharks swimming on the highway always wins the attention game. And this is the challenge. Fortunately, there's another human instinct, and that's the instinct to dig. This is the work of the journalist. This is the work of the fact checkers, the work of the open source investigators. If we're going to follow the metaphor down a bit deeper, we can say that context is everything below the surface. And the work of the modern journalist is to bring the critical pieces of context up to the surface. The media scholar Robin Kaplan talks about content mediation. We like this term because it represents the full bloom from fact-checking to content moderation. So we assert that to address dis, and misinformation at scale, we need to generate and distribute human, expert, local context at scale. And by scale, we mean 7.8 billion people speaking 6,500 languages, posting 2.5 quintillion bytes of data each day. This is an n-squared curve. So the global internet, if we're going to address misinformation, needs a marketplace for this context. Our information context infrastructure is this marketplace. So on one side, we see journalists, CSOs, third-party fact checkers who are de facto content mediators, but lack the tools they need to effectively do this work at scale. On the other side of the market, we see social media platforms who simply are not capable of staffing the content moderators or the fact checkers or building the algorithms needed to address at scale. So this is a classic two-sided marketplace. On the sell side, the journalists. On the buy side, the platforms, researchers, and corporations who need this content. The tool that's going to power this marketplace, we've been working on for 10 years. It's an open source platform called Check. It's powered some of the most successful election monitoring and fact-checking projects in the world. And it's been developed especially for working in closed networks. Modeling context as a service, our digital health lab has been working with GNI support, thank you, Google, on the Vaccine Media Hub with the Science Media Center of Australia and a network of SMCs. So the work is happening. TLDR, we're here to try to build out and model the potential for this marketplace. And we hope that we get the chance to do this with a bunch of the fine folks in this room. All right, thanks very much.